Good morning. Glad to be here this morning with everybody. And it's a pretty gray day in the Pacific Northwest today. And I'm happy to be able to be here. It's been quite the weekend. And I say that because I had a house full of mostly girls, except for one boy, and they're all grandkids. And I feel like they were kind of like not picking on him so much, but he's very gullible because he was the only boy here out of four girls. So it's like, okay, he was having fun though. And he's 6, so of course he was the youngest out of the group and the oldest being 14. So of course, it's like, hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to do that? And then they were teasing him a lot. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. I'm blessed and completely enjoy having the grandkids around. And I'm grateful that I can have great grandkids around because I think they keep us going. Because I was like, oh my gosh, how did I do this when I was young? Well, that's the purpose. I was younger and had kids. Now I can enjoy grandkids and send them back home. Oh, so thank you for joining my continuing education. This is going to be a very simple one today. Most of you know that I'm really passionate about using essential oils. And I use doTERRA essential oils because of the quality and the purity that they stand for. The company itself, that certified pure therapeutic grade, what that means to me, it's going to work consistently every time I purchase essential oils. And they're working with growers all over the world, in fact, 40 different countries, as a matter of fact, and they are now 96% exclusive in the essential oils that they do get. What does that mean? It means that they work with growers all over the globe, wherever they find an essential oil that meets their standard. It can't be 95%, 98%, 99%. It has to be 100% to their standards. And they do testing just like everybody else, but they go beyond that testing, and they've developed even a more sophisticated testing. And I'm sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, I think I'm done with that. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, so the testing that they have, they can even take other essential oils that say that they're not contaminated or that they don't have any adulteration going on. They can take those and actually test them, and they can get down to the nitty-gritty, and it will show up if there's any contamination. Whereas in the testing that they do, it doesn't show up. So this is just a new innovation. Things are always involved, and we are always continuing to upgrade one way or another. So I like that about the integrity of the company. I want it to work every single time, and I want to know that it's safe. Okay, because sometimes those added ingredients or the way that they distill or chemically distill their essential oils is not good for you. So, which leads me into what I'm going to talk about today. Because what do we put on our body every single day? You, me, men, women, doesn't matter. We all use something. Well, majority of us, I shouldn't say all of us, but I'm sure probably 99% of us do. And that's deodorant. Do you not wear deodorant? What do you use for deodorant? What's the ingredient list of your deodorant? Or are you using an antiperspirant? Did you know that the #1 ingredient in a lot of your antiperspirant deodorants are aluminum? It's an aluminum that is supposed to create a dryness, okay, so that you don't get the yellow stains, and it's more of a powdery white, so they don't deal with that kind of things. But think about where you put that. You're putting it under your arm, right? What's next to your arm? Don't we have some major blood vessels going through there, and our heart's not too far away, right? So, in knowing what essential oils do, and when you put something on you, and I've discussed this before, that when you put something on you, you are putting something in you, okay? It doesn't matter if it's just a topical application because it still soaks into the skin. So if you've ever used that lotion that is extremely potent in its fragrance, and you put it on you and you kind of like have that taste in your mouth, well, it's not because you're smelling it. That is one. But the other is because you've put it on topically and it's in the bloodstream. Okay? It doesn't take very long to do that. Usually within 30 seconds it's going to show up. Just like an essential oil, within 30 seconds you can have an experience within 30 seconds, whether that's topical or aromatic. So we use them aromatically, we use them topically, and we can use a lot of them we can use internally. Always read a label though before you decide what you're doing with that, right? Because they're not all meant to be used internally. It has to meet the GRAS standard of the FDA, which means generally regarded as safe, which is another standard. But with an essential oil like doTERRA that is so pure and so potent, that quality is there, that more is not necessarily better, okay? In our minds and society today, we think more is better. Well, no, not with doTERRA. Less is better more often, okay? So one drop can go a long way. Let's think about that. Example, peppermint. Most people love the fragrance of peppermint. Peppermint's everywhere. But it's a synthetic, mostly. So if we're using an essential oil, one drop, just one drop of doTERRA essential oil can be equivalent to 28 cups of tea. So if you were to put that one drop in 28 to 30 cups of water, put that one drop in there, it will taste like peppermint. That's awesome, right? Wow, one drop. So when I cook with peppermint, because peppermint, I love it in brownies, I love it in cookies. I made cookies yesterday for the grandkids, and I put cinnamon. I made chocolate chip. I'm like, I put cinnamon in there. So cinnamon is good for us, right? It's good for them. It's good for the blood sugars, but I make cookies, so, you know. The calories are still there. I don't take away the calories, but it gives it extra flavor. Okay, at this point, I'm just looking for flavor. I'm not looking for what it's actually doing for us in our bloodstream or for our blood sugars, but it's awesome for that. So I can use that. That was a whole batch, one drop of cinnamon essential oil, and I can taste it in the cookie. Is that cost effective? Of course it is. One drop of peppermint for 28 to 30 cups of tea if you wanted it. Is that cost effective? Absolutely. So let's go back to the aluminum in your antiperspirant. And the reason why is, like, you know, I used to use this a long time ago. I don't know why I saved this. I don't know. Maybe it was because I do a lot of DIY and I thought, hey, I can use this later when it's all done and over with, right? And I can put my own in here. But this is what I used to use before I was educated, right? Before I really understood and knew what was going on. And learning what you want to stay away from. And it doesn't tell you all the ingredients. All it says is stain guard. And it says new on the bottle, so you can see it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it does say new. I've had this a long time. It's not new anymore. The stain guard. So it's a 24-hour antiperspirant deodorant. And the only ingredient it says on here is aluminum zirconium. And I won't go into the last name, but it is in a lot of your antiperspirants. But if I'm putting this every single day under my arms, and we wonder why women in particular, and there's men too, you just don't hear about it as much, that there's breast cancer. Why do we have so much breast cancer? Okay, it wasn't rampant, 40, 50, 60 years ago, but why is it so rampant now? Could this be part of the problem? What other things are part of the problem of what's creating disease? How many of you cook from a box every single day? How many of you actually have a garden? I know a lot of you out there can't, but what could you do that you could grow your own vegetables? Okay? And it doesn't have to be everything, but when you look at what you get at the store, they have to feed the masses. Whether it's organic or normal, it doesn't matter. You're still not getting the full benefit of that produce because it's picked green. It's not ripe until it's at the store, but really it's not ripe at the store, it just changes color. That's it. It's supposed to do that. That's a process that it goes through to decompose. Okay, but it doesn't mean you're getting 100%. So those of you that look at me and go, well, I eat healthy every single day. I challenge you to really understand what it means to eat good every day. Yes, you might eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. That's great. But where are your vegetables coming from? Where are your fruits coming from? Okay, you're going to get more out of the fruit because they're picked off the tree in a different way. But your vegetables are totally different. Okay, especially when they give you gimmicks like vine ripened tomatoes. Well, once it's cut off the vine, how does it ripen? There's no more nutrients going to that tomato. Sorry. So I'm really happy to say that doTERRA finally perfected a deodorant. Now, they came out with a deodorant a couple of years ago. Didn't like it. Didn't work for me. And so I reverted to not normal. I didn't go to the store and buy it. I used just essential oils because the first thing your body has to do when you're using these kind of products, your body has to detox. You're using a medication, even. Your body has to eliminate bad stuff. And it's going to go through a process, okay? But I'm happy to say that doTERRA finally did it. This is the new deodorant. Let's see that. I'll put it on the other side. Maybe that's better. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this is Balance. Balance happens to be a grounding blend that has hoe wood, spruce, and frankincense in it. Oh my gosh. Lovely, right? Essential oil infused, natural deodorant, that's what it says. The very first ingredient on this, arrowroot powder. And I think it's awesome. It works. I could just smell it because it smells so lovely. Not only am I getting something good for me and I don't sweat, or if I do, I don't stink. That's number one. I don't want to stink. And, actually our body is supposed to sweat. So why do we go into an antiperspirant to keep us from sweating? It's because we don't want people to see any wet spots underneath us. Well, our body's supposed to naturally do that. And if we don't do that, what are we doing to ourselves if we don't sweat? I leave that question up to you to figure that out, okay? But when I look at this, I smell this, oh, beautiful blend. And the grounding blend is which is the Balance, is for stress reduction. So I'm getting two things with one application. I am getting the Balance, I'm getting the aromatic, and I'm also getting it topically too. So I am keeping myself dry. I don't smell, and I get benefits aromatically. Why not? Okay, it's helping reduce my stress levels as well, and all those chemical soups that start showing up. And it's a non-toxic, so it's aluminum free. There is no aluminum in here. And it's paraben free, so there's no wax, right, which a lot of your other ones will contain. And there's no artificial fragrance. No artificial fragrance. Meaning what? Everything else you have is artificial fragrance. It's a synthetic. It's not the true thing. So frankincense, essential oil. Spruce, essential oil. Okay? It's the true thing. So I don't have to worry about my body trying to figure out what I'm putting in it or on it, because it naturally knows what to do with it. I think it's lovely. And they've already said they're thinking about a couple of other essential oils to add to this, like citrus and a couple others. So I'm like, yay, we'll have a variety of different fragrances. So if you really like citrus, like in the mornings, my husband and I are morning showers, and we like our Citrus Bliss bath bars that we get. They're awesome because they're very invigorating. Same with our shampoo. It's the same thing. It's a citrus, and it helps in getting you ready to go out and do things. Okay, now if you were in the, if you like to take a shower at night, use the lavender bar. We have a lavender bath bar. Actually, it's a Serenity, which has lavender in it, and it's awesome. Helps you go to sleep. Why wouldn't you want that, right? Two things. It gets clean, and it helps you reduce your anxiety, help reduce your stress load, help in keeping you from just shut this off up here, right? So I think it's wonderful. And I'm super excited that doTERRA has been able to do that. With deodorant. Now there's a lot of natural deodorants out there that you can get, like different brands, but how good do they work, and really what is in them, and how do they get their fragrance, what is in that? So I challenge you to go start doing some research of your own to find out what you're using, and if it's really something that you think you should use, okay? Now, I'm not here to say you shouldn't use it, because it's your choice, okay? It's not mine. But I am here to educate you to understand that what we allow to be put in our bodies, and if you're like me, you're constantly asking, why is there so much disease, especially in the United States? Why is there? So do some research. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're eating. Think about the things that you're putting on you. Wouldn't you rather be natural as much as possible, so that maybe you don't end up with that disease later? Now, that's not saying that you won't have disease. It's just saying that be proactive about you. Learn what you can do for you and your family, and keep you better and keep you safer. Doesn't guard us, doesn't keep us from getting sick, doesn't keep us from getting disease, but we can at least try. That's the number one. But if you don't try at all, then where are you going to be? Who knows? You never know. There's only one person that knows. Well, that's not a person. If you're into praying, there's only one person. Okay? So that's my continuing education today. And this is a lovely deodorant. I'm really super excited that it keeps me from stinking, from being so smelly. And I get more than just one benefit from it. So I appreciate you being here today. We'll see you again next week, and show up, and we'll see what we're talking about then. And feel free to reach out to me anytime. Talk to you later. Thank you.